special edition of Disability in You program on your people's channel, Zenith TV, when we celebrate our special day, World Child Broadcasting Day. Today, as you are well aware, Zambia is among African countries that enjoy the fight against sight impairment. Official statistics show that 2% of adults and 1% of children are living with visual impairment in Zambia. These visually impaired are oftentimes deprived, stigmatized, or harassed by society. As a result, they are denied various socio-economic opportunities like their able-bodied colleagues. However, for Boniface Makupo and Chewe Mukuka, this narrative has changed. Makupo and Chewe, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Ashley. Yeah, what a wonderful day.
Kindly introduce yourselves to the viewers.
So I'm Chewe Mukuka, as you earlier said, and I'm a student at the University of Zambia and an intern at ZNBC.
And I'm Boniface Mukopa, like you earlier mentioned, born and bred, of course, in Zambia, in the northern part of Zambia, but of course brought up in different parts, starting with, of course, northern province itself, Copperbelt and Lusaka. So to say, I'm a proud Zambian. Thank you so much. And currently, I am working with ZNBC, working for ZNBC. That is after graduating at the University of Zambia, where I was pursuing media and communication studies.
Thank you. What caused your sight impairment and how has it been since?
Well, after I lost my sight, it was a difficult, indeed, situation to experience, but not to say that it hindered me completely from coming back again to society in order to contribute positively. But to say it was difficult for a start, but once I accepted my situation, then I decided to move on. I received support from parents, family. I can say I'm a product of cooperation, such that everyone contributed whatever they could in order for me to be where I am. So there were challenges, but after interacting with other persons with disabilities, I got encouraged and learned how to overcome such challenges.
This is one losing part of you. So like when I lost my sight, it wasn't easy as well. But when you get to interact with other people, and before that, when you accept to say what I can't do doesn't really matter, you need to move on. I mean, life goes on. Whatever happened, happened. So when I lost my sight, it was really hard. But after some time accepting and getting interactive with other persons who are disabled, well, here I am studying media and journalism at the mighty University of Zambia.
And you wish to know, Ashley, by the way, that sometimes I could play football at, that's before I lost sight, at the age of 4, 5, thereabout. But at the age of 6, when I completely lost sight, I stopped playing football and I was wondering, how am I going to be taking part in all these activities? But later on to discover that I could even participate in such activities, soccer, goalball. Yeah. I'm still able to take part pretty much in any activity. All is needed is the support and indeed the acceptance, as my colleague Chewe has put it, in order for one to move forward.
Yeah, and just as he has said, like growing up, having your sight, fantasizing about a lot of things, looking at different things, then you suddenly lose your sight. It is really difficult. But with the help of family and friends, we are able to move on.
And in terms of mobility, maybe just to add on how I could manage to navigate, move from one place to another. Others who could think I was groping over the wall in order to discover maybe a door in order to enter a particular room, so on and so forth. But you need to understand that there is need also to learn how to move. Mobility with mobility aids, like a white cane. In case of somebody who is blind like myself, I have a white cane which I use to move, but sometimes you even master the places. Once you've been in a particular place for some time, you get to navigate on your own as time goes by. So all the activities I'm able to do just after that experience of learning how to do them.
Moving on to the next question. Have you two undergone devastating experiences at family and community levels?
Oh yes,
Yeah, indeed.
you be able to experience all that, Ashley, at some point in one way or the other. There could be discouragement, others who are not aware exactly how to associate with somebody who has a disability, or somebody, in my case, who is blind or who can't see. It is difficult for them, so all they need is also awareness as well. So at some point I could experience some disassociating themselves from me. Others, in case of my family, they were wondering, how am I going to indeed support this child? But with help from others, and after being counseled, after being advised, they also learned that a blind person like myself is able to go to school, they can acquire education and later move on, such that I cannot be a burden to them, but actually be a solution in one way or the other.
And where the family members don't get it, in the name of sympathizing with us, they tend to give us that baby treatment. What I mean is, sometimes they would wonder to say, oh, how am I going to support this child since they are blind in our case? So this child is blind, how can I make sure that they get these rights to education? So when they are aware, like Boniface has said, they really help. Yeah, so we need to like sensitize. But I also went through hardships. For example, when you need to move from point A and point B and you don't know the place properly, you would tend to remember, how I wish I could see. Obviously, I would have moved. You then remember those days when you used to see. But yeah.
Yeah, I do agree with Chewe, as she has pointed out. Definitely, you also experience the fact that society will tell you maybe certain things you can't do, certain professions you can't pursue them. In the case of Zambia, it's been known that maybe a blind person can only pursue education in terms of you becoming a teacher, so on and so forth. So it was limiting insofar as career-wise is concerned. But after discovering those discouragements had to be forgotten about, in the sense that I could pursue basically what I wanted. Only that if society is not aware, then they may not be of great help. But once you indicate that interest, honestly, I can tell you, universe will conspire to see to it that all is in place for you once you have a disability, in like myself and my colleague Chair.
Thank you. I've gone to question 4. How did you overcome the impairment to be where you are today?
Thank you so much for that important question again, Ashley. So how I overcame this encounter or experience of me becoming a person with a disability, and specifically losing my sight, is through interaction. Like I earlier mentioned, when I first went to school, I met a number of persons with disabilities, different categories of disabilities, such that one would even be wondering whether their disability is maybe even not so severe compared to others. And my parents, this could testify. They could meet persons who were in critical conditions than I was, such that it was even encouraging to them. If these others are able to do this, if these can manage to do this, how about my child, so on and so forth. That was also my encouragement as well. Through interactions, you get other people's experiences. But most importantly, it will come from oneself. once you identify and discover that you are a person endowed with various abilities such that if you explore them, if you put them into practice, if you realize them, they can be of great benefit to yourself, not only to yourself, but also to society. That was my starting point in order to change everything about myself. It was as a result of self-discovery, realizing that my disability will not hinder me. And this is in agreement with one of the writers who has written so much about disability, that indeed know me for my abilities and not my disabilities. That is Robert Henzo. So that is the point which helped me to change any perspective about myself, and indeed society has followed suit to also change their attitude about myself. Mind you, attitude is a little thing that can make a big difference, and that has indeed stuck with me, and I've been going on and on with that attitude of not looking down upon myself, but also realizing that there's great potential which, if realized, can also benefit society. I hope Chewe do also agree with me.
Yeah, I do agree 100%, because talking about self-discovery, when you identify yourself, especially in God, you know who He says you are. You will find your purpose and probably live in your dream. Because honestly speaking, when you don't really accept your situation, you'll be broken by what someone can. Some people just don't discriminate because they want to. It's because they really don't know how to handle you and they don't want to hate you. So we find people who can't really say, oh, she can't see, oh, he can't see, because they are scared that they will offend you. You get my point? Mm-hmm. But you feel they are actually making gestures because they know I can't see. So if you know who you are, find your purpose, you will actually be glad to be helped, even by other people. You'll be actually mentioning to say, oh, here I will need help, there I'm okay, here I will need help, and life goes on just like that. The professor said everything. So yeah, that's what I had to say.
We're going on. How has it been until now to become broadcaster and be a ZNBC employee?
Amazing. It's been amazing, Ashley. Immediately after graduating at the University of Zambia, but prior to that, I used to do some internship with ZNBC, where I learned a lot, and I actually was motivated because of the support that they gave, and later on, after graduating, decided to apply, and after being employed, so on and so forth there, I've found that environment to be favorable. Actually, we can choose indeed to promote issues of persons with disabilities in order to make that difference. And kudos indeed to ZNBC for the step that they have taken. I think this will motivate a number of persons with disabilities. Thanks once again to ZNBC for being a trendsetter insofar as issues of persons with disabilities in the media is concerned. I hope even others will follow suit. Same applies to also, there could be a number of issues or challenges here and there, but the first step is what they have done, and myself coming in, being motivated, being able to put in the very best that I can, that will also motivate a number of people. So it's been an amazing journey, Ashley, so to say.
Yeah, indeed, it is amazing, and thank you to ZNBC as well. I just hope for the best. I guess next year when you interview me, Ashley, I'll be an employee at ZNBC. Or even Zanis.
That would be great.
Yeah. So, but it has been an amazing journey being an intern at ZNBC. The working culture is very much okay, and the people found there are so flexible and willing to help. So it has been an amazing journey, I should say. Yeah.
You are now employed with ZNBC as what, and is your employer supportive?
All right. Like I have mentioned, I'm a producer for ZNBC Radio 2. So they do give me chance to exercise indeed what I am employed for. That is conducting interviews. I'm given that space. I'm given an opportunity also to explore other means so as to put into practice what I have learned. So they have provided that favorable environment for me to practice my media and communication profession. And I'm learning a lot, and there's a lot indeed to look forward to insofar as me being equipped with the necessary skills that I'm acquiring at ZNBC. I can mention this the first time that I came, you could see even the management coming, expressing interest to know what is going on. You feel that they are concerned about your well-being, and that is important. But to say there could be challenges that they might be facing, being it for the first time that they are having a blind person employed, so obviously there will be need for other equipment or for other things to be put in place. But we are getting there. That is the hope, and that is the encouragement and indeed assurance that we need to have. They've been so supportive, and I'm glad to be there, and I'll be able to put in my very best so as to experience, to have a good time at ZNBC. Like I've mentioned, ZNBC, kudos to them for being the trendsetter, and I hope each institution, as well as other persons with disabilities themselves and other individuals, will take it upon themselves to promote issues of persons with disabilities, because it only starts with that single step in order to even achieve greater milestones.
Yeah, and just to add on, even if that isn't my question really, but even this step where we are being interviewed here by a kid, and this is as regards to commemorating International Children's Day of Broadcasting. It is really amazing because Ashley obviously will go out there and tell the friends about us.
Precisely.
And they're going to be aware. Yeah. So it begins with the kids. Let's start from the foundation. And I'm also, I wanted to mention that whenever I go to the field from ZNBC, I'm always happy. And initially I was so scared to say, oh, why did they accept me for TV and I can't see? But I was like, oh, later on, let's just learn and be available. I apply myself, they help me where they need to, and it is very nice just like that. So Ashley, I hope you will tell your friends about us at school.
And an interesting quote from Pablo Picasso, who says, there is only one way we look at things until there is someone to show us to look at those things, or at those things with different eyes. Yeah. So such is the story of ZNBC. Such is the story of the University of Zambia, which has decided to promote inclusive education. Such is the story of many other institutions and indeed many other individuals who are promoting the welfare of persons with disabilities. And that should also go to persons with disabilities ourselves, that the moment we choose to forget about this in the word disability, Chewe, so that you only remain with ability,
of course.
So you'll be able to create that difference in society. So the moment we choose ability instead of disability, we will be able to make a great difference. So instead, we should be trendsetters. That's so I'm trying to put across. As well as Mandela at some point said, everything is impossible until it is made possible. But who is that person who can make it possible? It is us.
Yes,
It will
ourselves.
only take ourselves. And such is the story again of institutions. And Zambia, I guess, as a nation, will be able to tell that story, will be able to make a difference on the global stage insofar as issues of persons with disabilities. And indeed, kudos to Zanice for this program, Disability and You. Ashley, you're doing a great job for interviewing us so that we create this necessary awareness so that people are aware that persons with disabilities can contribute positively to society without looking at them in the lenses of maybe charity models, in the lenses of them being sympathetic to persons with disabilities, but actually we can do great things indeed for the nation, to ourselves, in order to bring about development.
Having said that, what is your word of advice to families, communities, and government as a whole to give disability a human face?
Precisely. Like we have earlier alluded to, what is needed, we need more awareness. We need more sensitization. We need training insofar as issues of persons with disabilities. Speaking of the media, we need to learn how to report well on issues of persons with disabilities. Speaking of education, we need to incorporate issues of persons with disabilities, and this is being practiced, of course, through inclusive education. We can as well extend it to each sector, health sector. How are we incorporating persons with disabilities and their issues? How are we incorporating them in the training of those professionals so that the moment they come across persons with disabilities, they have a different attitude towards persons with disabilities. Of course, an attitude that is positive. So at the national level, all we need are policies that incorporate issues of persons with disabilities. We need laws that take care of issues of persons with disabilities. Of course, some of them have been put in place, but what are we doing to implement those? Yeah, so that is the greatest core, and above everything else, participation of persons with disabilities themselves in the whole process from the beginning through to the end.
Yeah, just to add on, I feel even those people who are locked up, either kids or grown-ups with disabilities out there, it's not just about students from the University of Zambia or even the people you see in town. There are those who are locked up, maybe in remote areas or something like that. So it should be a two-way thing. Family members should ask for assistance. If they don't really know how to treat a kid with a disability, they feel maybe just taking care of them at home is better, like them going to school or anything like that. Or if they maybe discover that this kid has a learning disability, obviously they would go for skills or something like that. For the government, as Boniface said, the policies and the deliberate move to just implement the policies they make.
And as you are well aware of that the government has introduced a no disability policy, what are your views?
All right, that's long overdue, definitely. We've been waiting for this national policy on persons with disabilities, and I believe it will go a long way insofar as enhancing the well-being of persons with disabilities. This will be able to guide institutions insofar as incorporation of issues of persons with disabilities, beginning, of course, from their management structures, so on and so forth, but also in the minute things or little things that we may look at not to be important, but this policy will trickle down to the last level in society. This will also go to families insofar as changing their attitude towards persons with disabilities. This will spark conversations and participation by civil society organizations such that will be able to reach a level where now issues of persons with disabilities are well entrenched in every part and indeed aspect of society.
And my expectation really, we don't want to see a lot of handouts. Okay, we appreciate the fact of being given handouts, but again, we need skills, education and all that, so that these will long last. Yeah.
And yeah, like Che was mentioned, this will impact positively insofar as attitude towards persons with disabilities are concerned, because we are looked at as persons who need handouts, but we need to change that attitude, that mindset, so that we are able to participate and contribute. And as well, it will also help institutions to come up with disability policies within their circle, within their operations, in order for them to promote persons with disabilities in their operations or management.
Our last question, but not least, feel free to comment on any other concern or public interest not included in this discussion.
Okay, so really, okay, Boniface kind of mentions this, but I just want to like emphasize on it to say, persons with disabilities, please love yourselves, and you'll be able to extend that love to others. Don't be frustrated so easily. When you meet new people, introduce yourself, learn them. I mean, just be you, be positive, and the opportunities will just present themselves. Yeah.
All right, yes. But also, most importantly, Chewe, you agree with me that technology has great benefits to persons with disabilities insofar as bridging the gap.
Yeah, a whole lot.
Yes. So if we are to promote technology that includes assistive devices, that includes inclusive technology, that will bring about a number of benefits to persons with disabilities in order for them to participate in any aspect of society, in any area of life, because that is the hindrance. What we are fighting here is disability. Moreover, we are persons with impairment. Impairment, you can't change it. I've lost my sight, that is my impairment. But where is the disability coming in? It is where I am unable to participate on an equal basis with others. Yeah. That is where disability comes in. Hence the term, I'm disabled. I am deprived of that opportunity to exercise what I'm endowed with. So therefore, if technology is promoted, talk of screen readers, in the case of Choa, you are able to use the phone.
Yes,
with
the smartphone.
Just
like
for that
you, Ashley, and everyone out there.
Yes. What is enabling Choa to do that? It is the screen reader. Technology is coming in. Therefore, we need to promote assistive technology in our country. We invest in assistive technology so that we can contribute to, of course, ensuring that persons with disabilities have an equal opportunity in the affairs of the nation.
Well, dear viewers, that was Boniface Mukopa and chair of ZNBC on our program Disability and You. The mantra of disability is not inability continues. Nothing about us without us. Enjoy the celebration of World Children Broadcasting Day. My name is Ashley and I've come to my closing remarks. This is Zanis TV, the People's Channel.